Welcome to Sports Corner with Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier. And now here's your host, Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier.
Yeah, that's some Stevie Winwood for you, and back in the high life. Oh, yeah. Guess who's back on the radio? It's Ralph Williams, Smokin' Jim Frazier, and Claudio Rosano. But today, we're here for another Sports Corner episode, and that's right now. And our guest today, coming up shortly, will be Matt GRUBBA from the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. He will join us. He has a special announcement about something that's getting ready to happen with the Riverhounds. They are sponsoring a women's soccer team, and we're going to talk about that later on as well. But yeah, here it is right here. We're back in the high life. Yes, we are. The return of Sports Corner radio show with me, Ralph Williams, Smokin' Jim Frazier, and Claudio Rosano. All right, guys. All right, Smokin' Jim, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. I'm ready for this, buddy.
All right, yeah, we're all set to go, getting ready for the show. Smokin' Jim will be on tonight. Don't forget at 7 o'clock, join Smokin' Jim along with L. Levine, the Talking Machine. Chip Hayner, I believe, will be on tonight, and Nick Callis for the Pittsburgh Sports Line on Bethel Park TV. And then don't forget tomorrow night to join Smokin' Jim at 7 o'clock on the basement broadcast, I call it, the Guns with Jim Allenbogen, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, and Smokin' Jim Frazier. All right, let's get ready for some great sports talk. 4:30, we have Ray FIDEPALDO coming on to talk with us directly from Steelers headquarters at Steeler practice today. We're also going to have the fake Mike Tomlin press conference. That's coming up after the 4:15 break, and a whole lot more. 5:30, our wrestling segment. We're going to talk about last night's Raw, Bad Blood coming up for the WWE and AEW as well. We're going to talk a whole lot of wrestling stuff. We have some stuff going on with the independent wrestling companies that we're going to show you tonight as well today here on Sports Corner. Lots to talk about. We have 2 hours here, and your comments are always welcome. Call your friend, call your cousin, call somebody, get them here. All right. My rant today is about the Football Hall of Fame. Once again, Hines Ward, for the 9th time, did not make the Hall of Fame. And, you know, I argue with all my national friends on national podcasts and shows, and they keep telling me about, Hines Ward didn't have enough catch statistics. All he was a blocking wide receiver. That's why he can't get in the Hall of Fame. I don't want to hear no excuses. The Hall of Fame, you know, they're full of baloney. What they need to do is put Hines Ward in, and any Steeler that's on there needs to get in there so we can make Canton the Pittsburgh Steelers Hall of Honor. And that's my rant for today. Smokin' Jim Frazier and his rant, or his wisdom, excuse me. Wow.
Hey, that's sad news about my friend Hines Ward. I agree that he deserves it. But I tell you what, bro, walking over to the stadium, man, I got to walk through duck food. I got to walk through a bunch of ducks. Where's the Haitians when you need them? Hey, I hope the Pittsburgh Steelers go 17-0 in honor of the 72 Miami Dolphins and a great local player from Avalon High School, Mercury Morris. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, absolutely. Mercury Morris passed away. He was, I believe, 77 it was, Smokin' Jim, or 72?
77.
77, I was right. Okay, great. Yeah, sad to hear about local guy Mercury Morris. My condolences to his family as well. And so, all right, let's get rolling here with the show. Let's get Matt GRUBBA. Matt, welcome to the program.
Hey, Ralph. Good to be back. Good to hear from you guys.
All right, Matt. Matt works with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And Matt, tell us some good news. I hear that there's going to you guys are sponsoring or having a women's soccer team. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's a big step for, I mean, both for soccer in Pittsburgh and for women's sports in Pittsburgh. We just announced this week the name and logo of the new team, the Pittsburgh Riveters, which harkens back to World War II era, Rosie the Riveter, which had Pittsburgh roots with the old Westinghouse Corporation. That's where that originally came from. So there's the Pittsburgh tie with that. A lot of people really enjoyed seeing the sort of black and gold twist on the logo that we've made with Rosie the Riveter. Got to thank the Heinz History Center played a big part too, helping us launch that. And, they have both the sports museum there that's wonderful and the Rosie the Riveter exhibit, the women in the workplace. So, they were a natural fit to help us. So I'd be remiss without mentioning them. But, just quickly about the team. So they're going to play starting next year, 2025, in the USLW League, which is the top pre-professional league in the country for women's soccer. So this is going to be women who are generally ages, 19 to 22, 23, 24. There'll be top college players from around the country. Right now we're already trying to put the team together and have feelers out for, players from some of the top programs in the country, North Carolina, Stanford, Pitt right here in our backyard. So it's a platform for, these young women, whether they're from the Pittsburgh area or whether they're coming to college in the Pittsburgh area. These are going to be women that have real professional aspirations. They want to play in the NWSL or they want to play in Europe overseas. So this is a big stepping stone that is, missing in this area. Right now we have, some top young girls in the high school ranks and in our academy at other clubs in the area. And there's nowhere locally for them to play, in the summertime when they're not in college, away from their college teams. So this is that high level that has been missing there. And long-term for us as an organization, we want to see this advance to where the Riveters garner enough support that we can move this team up into the professional ranks, just like the Riverhounds, and maybe one day be an NWSL team here in Pittsburgh where, we don't have a WNBA team or any women's professional sports right here. So I think there's a huge market here for it in Pittsburgh.
All right. Matt's brought to you in part by Bon Journey, who is our sponsor, who plays Bon Jovi and Journey tribute band. They're going to be at the Kindrew's Lounge October 12th with opening act Kevin Belonzi. Starts at 8 o'clock at 3590 Broadhead Road, Aliquippa. $10 for advance tickets. Call Kindrew's Lounge today and get your advance tickets. My advice to you with a place like this, that you get there early and get a table. So get an advance ticket, get a table, sit down. It's a standing room only kind of setup. So be very careful with some of these, because especially if you're handicapped like I am, it's kind of difficult to be looking over people's heads and stuff like that when people are standing in front of you. All right. Smokin' Jim, you have any questions for Matt?
No, sir.
All right. Smokin' Jim says he has no questions for Matt. Say hello to Matt, Smokin' Jim. Sorry, I forgot to tell you to say hello to Matt.
Hey, what's up, my man, Matt? How you been, bro?
I'm doing well, Jim. Good to hear from you. I'm getting excited for basketball season already, too. That's where I used to always catch you down at City League finals and things like that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we're getting ready for basketball season's coming up, or exhibition basketball and stuff with college and all that. That's all how fast the year has gone, with all that. Next week here on Sports Corner, we're going to have a pirate closing show. We had it last year when we were on the radio at the prior station we were on. We're going to do it here. We're having a baseball special. I'm working on getting John Parado and Noah Howes on here. We're going to talk about what went wrong this year with the Pirates. I thought they were going to go 500. I was wrong. But next week we will have I'm working on getting John Parado and Noah Howes on here next week for a Pirates show special. We'll still talk a little bit about the Steelers. We're going to start with the Pirates special at 4:30 and go until 5:30. And I'm working on getting a wrestler on for the wrestling segment next week. All right, Matt, tell us, a little bit about the Riverhounds. I know the season's getting ready to start concluding in the next few months. What can they catch up this year, or are they out of the playoffs completely? What's going on with them?
Well, we're behind the 8 ball, but we still have a puncher's chance. I mean, 5 games left in the season. Right now, we're sitting, just trying to think after the weekend's games, making sure I got my numbers correct for you. We're sitting 2 points back of the last playoff spot, but there's also 3 other teams in the mix with us. So it's going to come down to these last 5, and starting Saturday is a real critical one with Birmingham, who's only 6 points ahead of us. So another team we could reasonably catch to grab a playoff spot. And, just last month, lost my lights there. Just last month, we knocked off Birmingham 3-0 on the road. So,
right.
It's a winnable game for us here. Saturday at 7 at Highmark Stadium. We're expecting a big crowd because you've got the always popular dollar beer promotion going on. It's also Hispanic Heritage Night. So it should be a real, a terrific sort of party festival atmosphere, and hopefully, another sellout crowd that's going to push the team, back into the hunt. Because, with 5 games left, if we can string together, 4 or 5 wins out of that, we'll definitely be back in the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. I think you guys could do it. I know you guys have struggled this year, but as you mentioned the last time you were on the show, Matt, that the team has not really been blown out. I mean, they've been in every single game, and I believe they lead the league in ties right now. And close games. Which of course is not a bad thing, but losing is not a good thing. I mean, that's a simple fact.
Yeah, the ties have been a problem. Some winnable games that you give up a late goal, and suddenly 3 points in the standings goes down to 1. And right now, only 2 points out of a playoff spot. Just one of those would be the difference right now. It'd have us on the right side of the line. So, I mean, what the team's done well this year. I mean, we're actually, after this weekend's results, we're now the best defensive team in the league. Still giving up less than a goal per game. Scoring picked up. I mean, we had a 10-game unbeaten run that just ended, but we had 5 wins and 5 ties. So to what you were saying, again, we're getting it on the right track. Hopefully we still have enough time if we can keep that rate of winning going on. It's all to be played for in the final month. We have 3 home games, this Saturday, and then 2 more in October, and then 2 big road games. I'm working for the team, so I'm not in the prediction business, but it's possible if we can keep the form up that we've had over the last couple months.
Has the crowds still selling out down there at Highmark? You guys have had some really good crowds this year again, right?
Yeah, the crowds have been very good. I mean, we've had a couple, where weather sometimes impacts it as it can happen. But
and other events going on too.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's knock on wood. I mean, certainly we're fortunate all our home games being on Saturdays. We don't run up against the Steelers. I mean, that's we all know that's the number 1A king in this town.
But you give people something to do on Saturday. If they're visiting, they can go see a Riverhounds game.
Absolutely, and that's
yeah, absolutely, it's a great thing.
Being right here at Station Square. I mean, I know PNC is such a beautiful ballpark, but I still think we have the better view of the city right across the Mon. There, we've got the view of the skyline and PPG Place right in the background. So, it's still a great night to come out. Whether it's you and your friends coming out, I will keep repeating dollar beers because I know everyone loves that until kickoff. But it's a great time to bring out your family too.
We'd have to rent some extra bleachers or something. You have dollar beer night, man. It's
only till kickoff, so fans have to get here early if they want to partake. But it's great because you have that sort of atmosphere. But then you also have it's such a family friendly. So many families, and especially with kids back in school now. Saturday nights, the biggest night, families can get out and do something together. So. We encourage people to come down for, an entertaining brand of professional soccer. I mean, this is, the level right below MLS. And frankly, we look at the results from last year.
What do you got? One of them clappers
it's
like I
motion
got?
Sensor.
One of the motion lights.
You look at last year, we beat a couple of MLS teams in the Open Cup. So, I mean, people need to understand, I mean, this is a professional team and the level of play is not far off, if even below MLS. I mean, I'd take our chances against the bottom teams in MLS any day of the week.
All righty. Matt, thank you for being part of the program. Smokin' Jim, you have any questions for Matt before he goes?
Always good talking to you
All right. All right, Matt. Thank you for being part of the program as always. And let me know when the women's team's getting started, and we'll start promoting, getting some players on here, and get it going. You know, you always have my support here, and Smokin' Jim's support with Sports Corner. Also, don't forget about the radio show. I want to talk to you about some advertising down the road. I'll be in touch with you. Okay.
All of that
Because
sounds great. Yeah, May 2025 will be the Riveters kickoff. So we hope to talk to you about it more leading up to that.
you got it, Matt. Thank you once again for being part of the program. Matt GRUBBA
Thanks,
from the Pittsburgh Riverhounds here to talk with us tonight about the Pitts. Your thoughts, Smokin' Jim, on this new women's soccer team?
I tell you what, man, with the WNBA and the way the women's sports have been picking up, volleyball teams are selling out, especially in college all over the country. Pitt and Penn State got great women's volleyball. I tell you what, man, it's time. It's time to. I think the Riverhounds is ahead of the curve. Soccer in Western Pennsylvania is big on the high school level. They love it. I think they will come out and support it. So I'm very excited about those opportunities for the women.
All right, Smokin' Jim. All right, we'll be back shortly here right after these words. When we come back, we're going to have the fake Mike Tomlin press conference. But before we go, we're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studios, 724-201-0500. Call Mata today. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Look, the summer's up. Your air conditioner's in your window. It needs tarp that needs taken care of. Make sure you call Mata today. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-201-0500. Call Bill. Tell Bill Ralph Williams sent you. All right, when we come back right after these words.
Do you need insurance? Well, I have an agent for you who has great customer service and will meet your insurance needs. Robin Campbell, Farmers Insurance and Bristol West Insurance. He will help you with auto, life, renters, fire, and more. Call Robin today at 412-366-3399. Tell Robin Ralph Williams sent you. Robin Campbell Insurance. Do you have a vehicle that just doesn't work for your handicapped needs? Well, I have the solution for you. Keystone Coachworks. Keystone Coachworks is Western Pennsylvania's oldest and premier adaptive equipment provider. They have the best selection in wheelchair-accessible vans. Located in Bethel Park on Route 88. Call them at 412-833-1900. Ask for Don. Tell Don Ralph Williams sent you.
Okay, this is Ralph Williams here, and I want to say I approve this message. And the reason I'm approving this message today is I normally don't do this, but I have to for this. If you are planning on going to Erie, Pennsylvania, do yourself and your family a favor and please do not stay at the Candlewood Suites at the Mill Creek Mall. Reason being, my family and I were disrespected very highly by the general manager and the staff there. I am working diligently to get the place shut down. It is a disgrace. I have already spread the word around to my wrestling brethren that do wrestling events up there. They already know, and it's been spread all over Western Pennsylvania about what the Candlewood Suites did to me. Please, if your family is planning on going to Erie, do not, and I repeat, do not stay at the Candlewood Suites in Erie because your experience will be horrible. The general manager will disrespect you, throw you out of the hotel if you complain about anything, even a crumb on the floor. All right. So I just want to let you know, please do not stay at the Candlewood Suites. I'm Ralph Williams. I approve this message. All right. Welcome to another edition of the fake Mike Tomlin press conference. And now the fake Mike Tomlin press conference. All right. It's great to be here today. We had a great win against the LA Chargers. And I got to say, well, we had some injuries. Troy Falmadu will not be available for the remainder of the season. Samalu will be back, I believe, probably for this game, possibly. But we'll let his body of work be our guide. and he's a guy that I think we can get back, and we're going to try to get him back. Corey Trice, I feel bad for him. He had a hamstring injury, but we have other guys that'll step up. We've signed a few guys, and we'll get them in here, and so and also Highsmith has a groin injury, and Jalen Warren has a knee injury, and we're not sure exactly where we're going to go with him. We'll let their practice participation be our guide, and these guys could possibly be ready for the game. But I feel that we pretty much played mistake-free football. We didn't have any penalties at all, hardly, and I believe that we won because, and I hate to admit this, and I don't admit this too often, but the LA Chargers, they kind of beat themselves with penalties and things, and we were able to take advantage of all that, and so I believe that. But coming up, we have a very tough task against the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to be, Anthony Richardson will be, he's a great rookie quarterback. He gets the ball to Pittman and some of the other guys that they have on that team. Jonathan Taylor can run the ball, but we got to contain them. We got to play good defense, mistake-free football, and we'll go from there. I'll take questions. Oh, by the way, I took all the guys out this past week to Burger King. I plan on taking them again out to Burger King anyway. So, all right, I'll take questions here. The guy over here with the Kango hat.
I'll tell you what, Coach Tomlin, I know that you and your administration was very high on Brandon Ayuk. But I think our number two receivers, are you comfortable with our number two receivers, Calvin Austin and Scotty Miller, looked pretty good Sunday?
Oh, yes, they did. They look really well. Calvin Austin did very good. And by the way, was very happy that I treated him to Burger King. He ordered a small chocolate shake. And, he don't get chocolate shake too much. So, but and then Scotty Miller was, he's the kind of guy who, can bring us some, it was great to see him catch and get involved in the offense, and Justin Fields spreading the ball around. Russell Wilson, we'll let his participation be our guide as to whether or not he'll be back playing with us for this coming season. All right, guys, thank you, and have a great day. You have just listened to the fake Mike Tomlin press conference. All right, Ralph Williams back here with you, Smokin' Jim Frazier. And Smokin' Jim, let's talk a little bit about Pitt. Pitt had a really slaughter of a game against Youngstown State Prison, 73-17. They had to make you know what? I know Youngstown State lost to Duquesne the week before by 3 points, and then to get blown out by Pitt, this was a statement game. All right. And after we're done with this segment here, Smokin' Jim, I'll let you get to your boxing report. I didn't forget about you. So, all right. But so anyway, Pitt ends up winning 73-17. Your thoughts on this game?
Well, listen, Coach Narduzzi complained over the last couple of years when teams ran it up on Pitt. There was no reason to score 73 points on Youngstown State. But I tell you what, man, Narduzzi did a great job bringing in the offensive coordinator. We thought he was going to be really, really good, and so far he's been great. They got a good young quarterback that they can keep him from transferring in the transfer portal. I think that it's going to be competitive for years to come.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I believe you're right. I mean, there's a lot to be said for. I'm glad that he brought in this offensive coordinator. I hope that it continues, and I like this go offense. It moves, no huddle. I just hope that sooner or later these other teams are going to start looking at film, and they're going to start trying to get this. But here we are. We have a week off this week, Smokin' Jim, and then on top of that, we're playing a North Carolina team that kind of got blown out, and they're down to their like fifth quarterback, I believe, and they're getting somebody off the street that was bagging groceries, I believe, or something, because they're down on quarterbacks. Mac Brown is really pulling his hair out of his head. I think he wishes he didn't retire, or he should have retired last year after this mess that he has to deal with this year with this. Your thoughts on North Carolina?
Well, I tell you what, man, they still got talent. You never know when a young team will turn it all around and get better. Mac Brown can coach. But just real quickly, half the Penn State coaching staff, including Coach Franklin, was at the Aliquippa game Friday night when Penn Hill stuck it to him right between the eyes.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was an interesting game. I watched that game on the CW, man. That was
Got to love it.
yeah.
To love it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was that was the biggest upset I've seen in a long time in high school football, and it was good for Penn Hills that they won that game. So it was good for their program and so on. Were you at that game, Smokin' Jim?
No, I wouldn't go there. By shotgun, but I did the Amani Christian Academy games. I do their TV for their games. But a friend of the show, former Aliquippa head coach, that quit on the team right before the season. I think they're feeling the effects of that right now.
Oh, Mike Warfield, yeah, he kind of abruptly stepped away for a year. He says he's stepping away for a year, but we're gonna find out.
He quit on the team.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just it's sad. He is a friend of the show. Had him on when we were at the other radio station. Had him on the show, and a great guy. But I was quite surprised of the fact that he stepped away from it and everything else. Smokin' Jim's boxing report, and Smokin' Jim's boxing report is brought to you in part by. Okay, here we go. Brought to you in part by. Wait, wrong one. The original Hometown Pizza, 412-264-4444 on University Boulevard, Moon Township, the original Hometown Pizza. Coming up right after Smokin' Jim's boxing report is Ray FIDEPALDO from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He's going to join us by phone to tell us what's going on with the Steelers. He will be broadcasting on his phone from the Steeler headquarters down on the south side. But anyway, Smokin' Jim's boxing report, the original Hometown Pizza, 412-264-4444. Eat in, take out, or delivery. Tell them Ralph Williams sent you. You'll get a discount on your order. Smokin' Jim's boxing report.
Yeah, I tell you what, Ralph, we're going into the heavyweight division. We have 6'6", 252-pound Anthony Joshua fighting 6'5", 248-pound IBF champion Daniel Du Bois. And I tell you what, it was a great fight. They fought Wembley Stadium in London, England, in front of a record-setting crowd of 96,000. Both are heavy-handed punchers with impressive knockout records. But Daniel Du Bois retained his title with the 5th round knockout. What a great event for the heavyweight division. Two great heavyweights went at it, and I tell you what, Daniel retained his title with a 5th round knockout.
All right, we're going to get Ray FIDEPALDO here in a couple seconds, and as soon as we get him up here, we're going to have him going, and we'll get that done. Don't forget about October 8th. It's a Tuesday. For Tuesday, as normal, we will be going 1 hour for the Wrestle Talk show. Goes 1 hour, 5 to 6 p.m. starting on October the 8th, which is a Tuesday, 5 to 6 p.m. Wrestle Talk for 1 hour. And so Smokin' Jim, you'll be on with El Levine, and I believe Chip Hayner will be part of the show tonight.
Yes, sir.
All right. It's great to always hear from Chip. He always has something really interesting to say all the time. And so, all right, give me 1 second here. I'm going to get Ray up on the phone here real quick, and then we'll get everything started with Ray FIDEPALDO. As you well know, Ray is the beat reporter for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He is the guy who covers the Steelers, and we're going to have him do that as well. All right, hang on a minute, Smokin' Jim. I'm going to get Ray up here.
Okay.
All right, let's get him going here. Okay, Ray, we have Ray FIDEPALDO with us on the phone here. from the Steeler headquarters. Hang on a minute, Ray.
Okay.
Well, you got some noise down there, huh, Ray?
Yeah, it's a little bit noisy. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. Hang on a second. I'm trying to do something here to get you on the air. All right, here we go. Okay, Ray FIDEPALDO. Go ahead, talk, Ray.
Ralph, how are we doing this afternoon?
All right, we're doing real good, Ray. Thank you, and say hello to Smokin Jim.
Smokin Jim, what's going on?
Hey, what's happening, my man Ray?
All right. Okay, guys, let's get started here. Ray, tell us what's going on with the Steelers today. I heard, I watched the Bill Carr or the Mike Tomlin press conference, and we had, I still say Bill Carr every once in a while. I don't know why, but it's just a bad habit. Anyway, I also just had our fake Mike Tomlin press conference. What's going on down there at the headquarters?
Yeah, it's I guess the big news today is Alex Highsmith is going to be out 2 to 3 weeks with that groin injury. So big opportunity for Nick Herbig to step in there and be a starter for a couple of games. I thought Herbig did really well in relief of Highsmith on Sunday. And a few other injuries. Corey Trice goes to IR with a hamstring injury. And of course, Russell Wilson, not quite ready. He's going to be limited in practice tomorrow, and we'll see from there. But it seems like, at least at the beginning of the week, Ralph, that Justin Fields is going to get his 4th start in a row.
Wow, what's going on with Russell Wilson with this calf? Are they trying to be are they taking precautionary measures, or is it just, or is he the one that's not ready?
No, I definitely think that he's getting closer, but I don't think they want to put him in there and risk injuring him again because, as you know, Ralph, they thought he was over that injury right before the season started. And then I think on that Thursday, right before the opener, in Atlanta, that he aggravated the thing. And here we are a few weeks later, and it's still not good. So, I just think they want to be cautious. It's a 17-week season. We're only in week 4. And listen, Justin Fields is playing really well. He's doing a good job. The Steelers are 3-0. He doesn't need to do a whole heck of a lot with that defense. So I think they just kind of want to ride this out. They want to give Russell every opportunity to get as healthy as he can be before he does come back.
Okay, I see. Smokin Jim, you have any questions for Ray?
Yeah, hey Ray. Justin Fields, pleasant surprise?
Absolutely. I think he's done really well with this opportunity. The first 2 games, I thought he kind of managed the game well and didn't make any mistakes. But, you guys watched that second half.
Yes.
He was throwing over the middle. He was making plays down the field. He was confident standing in that pocket. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you what the future holds. It's a long season. We'll see how this plays out. But, at the very least, I think even when Russell does come back, we got to have all the confidence in the world that Justin Fields could come back in at any time and help this football team win every week.
Yeah, you know what? I like the way he uses his feet and runs. We saw the touchdown. And, so I think Justin Fields is a very good asset to this football team. I get beat up all the time. I'm on some national shows. I get beat up about Justin Fields because of what he didn't do anything in Chicago. But you know what? I always say this, Ray, and I think you'll agree with me. A change of atmosphere sometimes for some of these guys is a good thing sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And, he had different coordinators there in Chicago. I think he had 2 coordinators in 3 years. And, it was never settled there for him. And, here he comes into a situation, obviously a very stable one with Mike Tomlin being the head coach. He comes into a situation, Arthur Smith, one of the more well-respected coordinators in the NFL, and I think he's benefited from that as well. So, good situation for Justin to step into. He's done well with this opportunity, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. The Colts, were a team that was very good last year. They're kind of off to a slow start this year, but I think that'll be another challenge for him, especially on the road in Indianapolis.
All right, Ray FIDEPALDO is brought to you in part by Digital Data. Get a hold of Digital Data today, 1-877-297-5904. Get a hold of them today for the best, or digitaldata.com. They will do a website for you. They've done my website, www.rwmediaproductions.com. Let it do it for you. Low monthly prices. And get this, anything I want uploaded, they do it for me, and they do it at a low price. Digital Data. All right. Ray, tell me a little bit about, I know Corey Trice got a hamstring injury, and he's been injury prone since he got here. He's kind of had some hard luck. What's going on with Corey Trice?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate for him. He had the knee injury that ended his rookie season. And, I thought he was playing well, too. He gets injured early in that football game. And, he's going to have to miss at least a month. You got to miss 4 games at least when you go on IR. So I think the earliest he'll be back is probably around Halloween or even first week, of November. So, with that, maybe more of an opportunity for Darius Rush. Darius Rush really hasn't done much this season, hasn't been active. And also James Pierre. James Pierre was signed to the 53-man roster last week before the game. We know he can play special teams, but I think it'll be between Darius Rush and James Pierre this week to see who's the number 3 cornerback and who gets to play in some of their sub packages.
Smokin' Jim, any more questions for Ray?
Yeah. Hey, Ray, is this the best defense since the 70s Steelers?
Oh, man. How about 2008?
Yeah, there you go.
2008 Blitzburg. I mean, Smokin' Jim, they might be on their way. I mean, you got to stay healthy, right? We all know that's the number one key. But, man, 5 points per game. Number 1 in yardage, too. So they really got it going now. Hopefully they can stay injury-free. If they do, I think it's got a chance to be a special defense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I believe it as well. Smokin' Jim says TJ Watt's the greatest linebacker in the history of the Steelers. I believe that. That could be the case. But we'll see further down the road. I mean, he's done what he's done. And I sort of agree with Smokin' Jim on that. But we've had some great linebackers in Pittsburgh over the years, Ray, and I think you'll agree with me on that. Offensive line, what are we looking at for injuries there? I know Salamalu's supposed to be coming back, or maybe coming back from his pec injury. What's the depth look like there?
Yeah, so Salamalu is questionable to begin the week. It doesn't sound like he's going to play, but I think Tomlin will let that play out. Obviously, he's a vet. If he can get there by Sunday, they'll play him. The interesting part of that equation is, Spencer Anderson and now Mason McCormick are splitting time at left guard in place of Salamalu. So, it seems like McCormick is maybe ready to step in as a starter there. I would not be surprised if Salamalu does not play, that Mason McCormick makes his first NFL start in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I saw him in the game. I was happy. He was a guy that I actually liked in the draft, and I was glad that the Steelers took him. I said they should, and I was right. I expected him to go in a later round, but he went in a round. He did, 4th round, and I was very pleased that they picked him up, because those linemen from North Dakota State are some big guys there, Ray, and I think you'll agree with me on that with some of these guys. So,
don't pay attention to the FCS label. I mean, Mason McCormick was a really good player at that level, but I think he could have played in the Big Ten or anywhere else. He was that good in college.
Your thoughts on Corliss Waitman? He has stepped up, and as the punter right now, because Cameron Johnson's down. I'm glad we didn't bring back Presley Harvin. With Waitman being available. Your thoughts on this?
I mean, 53 yards of punt, Ralph. I mean, that's amazing.
That's amazing.
I know,
yeah.
The previous week in Denver, you could say, oh, he was kicking in altitude, but perfect weather day in Pittsburgh. We'll see how he does when the weather turns bad. But he's been really impressive. They had a real advantage when Cam Johnston was healthy. They really liked him. But listen, if Corliss Waitman can keep this up, I think they'll be just fine. And you guys saw how important field position is when you have a defense like that. I mean,
yes,
pin the team inside your 20s. Boswell had the great kick. I think he pinned them at the 12 on the one possession.
Yeah.
So when your special teams are able to do that, it just makes your defense all that better.
All right, the running game now. I hear Najee Harris has some kind of an arm injury and he's in a sling. I know we got Jalen Warren down. What's going to happen now?
So Tomlin says Najee Harris is fine. It doesn't sound like he's going to have any limitations. The concern is Jalen Warren. This is unrelated to the hamstring injury. He now has a knee injury. And listen, anytime you have multiple lower body injuries that you're dealing with, especially for a running back, I think that's a bit concerning. So we'll probably see a healthy dose of Najee Harris, probably a little bit more of Cordero Patterson this week if Jalen Warren does not dress. And then you got Jonathan Ward on the practice squad. I think I remember talking to you guys in the summer about Jonathan Ward. I think Jonathan Ward is very capable, and if he has to go in there, he'll be just fine as well.
Oh, yeah. He's an experienced vet. I've seen him run the football. Smokin' Jim, any more questions for Ray?
Yeah, just real quick. McCormick went to South Dakota State. The Jackrabbits don't like North Dakota
I'm sorry
State,
about that, Smokin' Jim. I messed up the college.
No, that's all right. Apologize to him, brother.
Yes.
But I remember, and I think the very next exhibition game after Ray broke the news to us about Jonathan Ward, I think the first play went like 30 yards, man.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
This guy's special. But hey, Ray, just real quick, we're going to lose some linemen next year. James Daniels, Isaac's going to be in his last year of his 3-year deal. Would you be opposed to re-signing Dan Moore?
Listen, I think the plan was when you draft 2 tackles in consecutive years that you're going to play those guys. So I think Dan Moore will head to free agency. They'll get a nice comp pick. And I think the same thing is going to happen to James Daniels. James Daniels is going to head to free agency too. That's why they drafted Mason McCormick. And don't forget, guys, Andy Weidel used to work for the Eagles and the Ravens. The Ravens are known for letting guys going to free agency and getting those compensatory picks in return. And you guys know as well as I do, when you've started as many games as James Daniels and Dan Moore has, you're going to get like probably a third round comp pick in return as part of that formula. So, there's value in keeping those guys and starting them, but, there's also a time to let the young guys play. And I think that's probably the way we'll see it play out.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be the case. I don't see the Steelers overpaying for guys. But I would like to see the Ravens get rid of that Mike Falalu. He's a big dude from Minnesota. They picked him up like in the 4th or 5th round. I wanted the Steelers to get him. That guy is huge. I watched him in the Senior Bowl. The Ravens have him. He's starting for the Ravens. I think he starts at right guard or tackle. And I tell you what, he's a big guy, and I think he would be perfect for the offensive line because of the way we run the football. There, and that's why he's in that game, because they run the football there as well with the Ravens.
Yep, he's a big dude, a little bit stiff, but
He is stiff, but I mean, he is a big guy that can handle everything, I believe. Any final questions for Ray here, Smokin' Jim? We'll let Ray go.
No, great job as usual, Ray. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right, Ray.
All right, guys, take care.
Ray FIDEPALDO from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Ray, thanks for being part of the program as always, and we'll be in touch about having you on the radio show. Oh, he went bye-byes. Oh, well. Okay, Smokin' Jim, your thoughts on what Ray had to say in the Steelers here?
Well, again, I got to butt heads with my main man Ray because listen. Did you see Joe Alt for
yes, I
San
did.
Diego Chargers?
Yes.
He's 6'9". The tackles now in the National Football League is 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". The rookie Samoan is only 6'3". In my draft report, I had him as a guard. And you got McCormick playing left guard. That's right. That's great. But wouldn't it be nice to have the Samoan playing right guard replacing James Daniels,
yes.
Lining right next up to Broderick Jones. He's a natural guard. He's not a tackle. Every time he plays tackle, he gets hurt.
Yeah, well, he either gets hurt or he gets burned. I mean, I seen him. I seen guys go around him. When he played in the Denver game, I saw some guys going around him. So I mean,
would not let a Dan Moore walk and make another team that good. I mean, he's going into his prime years now.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
the guy is polished. The Steelers did it. They developed that kid. I wouldn't just let him walk out because you drafted back-to-back tackles. Right. One of the guys could be a guard and make your offensive line that much better.
Right. You know, I say this many times, Smokin' Jim. I'd have a veteran any day over a draft pick. And I'm not saying that to be ignorant, but, you know, at least you know you got experience with a veteran guy.
Yeah.
When you go out there and gamble on draft picks, sometimes some of these draft picks, and you and I have seen them over the many years that you and I have been in existence here. I mean, you see it more than I do, but I mean, I've seen it myself, how many busts we've had on the offensive line. I mean, you know.
Look, that's anywhere.
Anywhere,
How much better we are at the quarterback position because we got guys who were veterans in the league playing quarterback instead of bringing a Kenny Pickett in, but you don't know what you're going to get. Look at all the first round bust quarterbacks.
Yes, Bryce Young, your buddy there at Carolina.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
Great
point.
Yeah, and Andy, then another thing too, I'm arguing with guys about Andy Dalton. They're like, "Oh, he's washed up. He don't know what he's doing." I said, "Let me tell you something about Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton can win football games, and he won this week against the Raiders." Okay.
Hey, what did they say for the last 2 years? They said Carolina, Breeze and Bryce is not doing well. Carolina doesn't have any talent. And I said Carolina's offense is just as good as anybody else if they had a quarterback. Andy Dalton went in there threw for 320 yards, 3 touchdowns. Deontay Johnson had 8 catches, 122 yards and a touchdown. And a one running back ran for 114 yards, 5.4 yards a carry. It's all because they changed quarterbacks. The guy Bryce Young can't play in there.
No, he cannot. And you know, you called it. You said it right on.
Yes,
How about Caleb Williams? You know, he had a reasonable game. Okay, Caleb Williams for the Bears. You know, and you know, but C.J. Stroud, he had a rough game this week. The Texans lost. I mean, you know, so I mean, let's go over some of the NFL scores here because some of the stuff here we can talk a little bit more about the Steelers here a little bit. Ray pretty much covered everything. 3-0 right now. They beat the Chargers 20-10, and then they are. Hold on a second here. Sometimes I can't read my own handwriting. Oh yeah, 2 touchdowns instead of field goals. I was very impressed with that. Justin Fields, as Ray mentioned, had very good poise in that game. I was impressed with the way he was conducting himself, and that also is coaching. We have, I think, 2 of the best quarterback coaches in the league. We have that guy we brought in from the Jets, and then we have Mike Sullivan still working with quarterbacks. So, you know, I think that the Steelers, and then plus we have, like you said, veterans that know the game, and we don't have to worry about a rookie draft pick right now. And then that gives the Steelers time to go out and get one. You know, I don't know what the quarterback class is going to look like after this college season, but we'll find out when that comes. And if it's going to look pretty good, maybe the Steelers can look at something. You know what I mean? Or get a guy like, you know, so.
Well, Justin Fields is only 25 years old.
Yeah.
I think he's the future. I think Coach Tomlin promised him that in 2025 it would be his team. That was before Russell got hurt. I'm not sure. And I'm a Russell Wilson guy. I'm not sure
if he'll even make the field again.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure they take Justin Fields out now. I don't think Justin Fields could go 17 games the way he plays and stay healthy.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure. What do you think, Ralph? Do you think they'll bench Justin Fields in favor of Russell Wilson whenever he's healthy?
Well, you know what? If Mike Tomlin has a half a brain, which I'm sure he does, okay, because he doesn't have a whole brain, obviously. We've seen some of them stupid decisions he's made over the years. But anyway, Mike Tomlin always goes with the veteran, with the guy who is supposed to be the starting quarterback. But remember when Kenny Pickett got hurt, he kept Trubisky in there, okay? And remember, he also kept Mason Rudolph in there. Okay, which we all thought, oh, well, he's going to go back to Kenny Pickett as soon as Kenny Pickett's healthy. You know, last year when he did that, I thought that was a good move on his part because he went with the hot hand. And I think he's going to stick with Justin Fields. He's the hot hand. You know, we're not paying Russell Wilson that much anyway. And I'm hearing stories right now that there are some teams out there that are looking for veteran quarterback. And if Russell Wilson gets healthy, I'm hearing maybe we could trade him for some draft picks or get a wide receiver or something from somebody,
Miami Dolphins needs a quarterback
Oh,
like Russell
yeah. They
Wilson
stunk the
bad.
joint up this week, too. Oh, my gosh. Did they stink it up?
They
Here, I got the
don't have
scores here. Let's see. Buffalo beat Jacksonville last night, 47-10. And then and then in the AFC North, Cleveland lost to the Giants. I didn't think the Giants would go into Cleveland. I took Cleveland in that game because I didn't think the Giants would go in there and beat them, because the Giants have been stinking the joint up too. And then Washington beat Cincy 38-33. They beat the Bengals, and then the Ravens beat Dallas. Dallas almost came back in that game. Ravens were up by 28-3 or something like that. I didn't think.
Wow.
And Dallas almost won. It was 28. They held them to 28 points, and it was 28-25. So and then the Bills beating Jacksonville 47-10. The Chiefs 22, Falcons 17, the Lions 20, Arizona 13, Rams. I was surprised here. San Fran lost to the Rams 27-24. The Rams, they've been kind of stinking the joint up too. And the Panthers, 36, the Raiders 22. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be on that NFL roundtable, and I'm going to laugh at everybody who downplayed Andy Dalton. Everybody,
Get on them, Ralph.
I am, because you know what? I try to tell him, because you told me how great Andy Dalton is, and I've watched Andy Dalton. He plays winning football when he plays, and he's a veteran, and he knows what he's doing. Guys like him, Seahawks 24, Dolphins 3. There you go. They stunk the joint up down in Miami. They don't have a quarterback. Colts 21, Bears 16, Packers 30, Titans 14. That was an upset. Everybody was taking the Titans. Didn't think Malik Willis had another game in him, but there you go. I got to give Matt LaFleur credit up there in Green Bay. Broncos beat the Buccaneers 26-7 at Raymond James Stadium. And then the Vikings, they're on a roll with Sam Darnold. Here we go. Another guy resurrecting his career. And, J.J. McCarthy being hurt. Another guy steps up. It's his benefit, 34-7 over the Texans. That stingy defense by Brian Flores is really good up in Minnesota. The Eagles 15, the Saints 12. That was a dogfight there, and it wasn't an offensive one either. So there you go. Smokin' Jim, your thoughts on the NFL this week?
I tell you what, man. I got to apply for a loan, brother, because I got killed. I had heavy money on Tampa Bay, and I had heavier money on the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh my gosh!
And I tell you what, man, I went 0-2, and I gotta bounce back.
I gotta tell you what, the Commanders look good. Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah. Cliff Kingsbury got Jalen Samuels playing very good football, and I've always said this, Smokin' Jim. Dan Quinn had a good run down in Atlanta. They fired him. He kind of got stale. He went to the Dallas Cowboys. Was a good defensive coordinator down there, and now they got Mike Zimmer, who everyone's saying is a bum, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyway, Dan Quinn's back for a second stint, and you always gain more knowledge after you've had the first time, and you get fired, and you realize, hey, wait a minute, what mistakes did I make? And I know Dan Quinn probably sat there and said, well, I made all these mistakes, and this time I'm not going to make these mistakes. And he went out and he hired a good offensive coordinator in Cliff Kingsbury, who interviewed for the Steeler job and didn't get it. So, but I think from what I saw against the Bengals, the Commanders, I wouldn't sell them short this year with Dan Quinn.
Right.
So
I agree.
And Jalen Daniels there, Jalen Samuels. I'm sorry, he's doing a really good job. From what I saw, he looks really good. Cliff Kingsbury got him going really well, and that's where Cliff Kingsbury belongs as an offensive coordinator. He was a horrible head coach in Arizona. He wasn't that good as a head coach in college either. He was, I think it was like 6-6 twice with Texas Tech or something. He didn't do real well there either. So, but anyway, Smoking Jim, any final thoughts on the NFL scores and games and all that, other than the fact that you have to take out a loan? I have a company for you. You can call. Use my name.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
All right, good.
I
I
do.
may have to call
Yeah, I'll text it to you.
him.
Yeah. I'll tell you who to ask for there too,
Okay,
because
thanks,
I got a
buddy.
loan from them. So
My man, my
yeah,
man.
I'm always looking out for my friends. You know that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it, brother.
Oh, you know it, man. You know it. All right. Don't forget, and I'm going to keep on sticking it in everybody's face, the words out that the return of Sports Corner Radio Show, Ralph Williams, Smokin' Jim Frazier, Claudio Rosano. It's so great, Smokin' Jim, to have a guy like Claudio Rosano join us. And guess who our first guest is for the first show? None other than I had to bring him on, Smokin' Jim, for the first show. Luther Dupree from Steel City Sports World. I love it, man. All my friends are all going to be with me for my first show, and I did it the last time, and I'm doing it this time too. But the good news is, Smokin' Jim, Luther and Claudio, Claudio was in the studio for the first show last time, and you and him will both be in the studio. We'll all be in the studio. That's going to be beautiful.
Man, I can't wait. I'm pumped up, brother. I'm excited.
Yes, indeed. The word's out there, and yeah. Also, don't forget, call DJ Fun today. DJ Fun, party DJ, was just on the South Side this weekend for the Pittsburgh Rugby Club. Call DJ Fun 412-545-4317. DJ Fun. Call him today. Great party and special event DJ. Well over 15 years of experience in doing DJ work as well. And also, don't forget to call Robin Campbell Insurance, 412-366-3399. Robin Campbell. Listen, Robin Campbell saved me $200 by switching me from one insurance company to another that he does. He does Bristol West and Farmers. Bristol West, Smokin' Jim, wanted to charge me an extra $50 and rack up my bill for the month because I bought my new van. You know, he saved me $200 moving me to Farmers. So that's the kind of guy Robin Campbell is. He looks out for you. 412-366-3399. Call Robin Campbell today for some great insurance, any kind of insurance you need. Hey, get Renters Insurance. We had a fire in my building here 2 weeks ago. I can't stress it anymore. Get Renters Insurance. Don't trust your landlord. Don't trust their management company. Get Renters Insurance. If there's a fire, you're covered. You'll go stay somewhere. They'll put you up in a hotel or whatever. And I got to tell you, it's the best thing in the world. Get Renters Insurance. It's a fraction of the cost every month. Call Robin for that as well. 412-366-3399. Okay, Smokin' Jim, let's talk about the Suckos. You know who the Suckos are?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's talk about them. They're 73-83. If they win 5 of these next 6 games, Smokin' Jim, they'll have the same record they had last year of 78. They have 6 more games to go. They're playing the first place or second place Milwaukee Brewers. First place Milwaukee Brewers in the division. And then they go play the New York Yankees for their finale at New York. I don't see them winning too many of these games unless Skeens is pitching. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think Skeens is scheduled maybe to pitch one more game. Maybe I wouldn't pitch him anymore the rest of the season. I'd shut him down after that 2-0. But hey, listen, I'm glad this is the last homestand. The Pirates gave it up again after the All-Star break. I don't know what they're going to have to do to turn things around, but they got to figure it out. They wasted their first-round draft pick by taking a kid from high school.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
not one, but two. 2 years in a row, they took 2 kids from high school.
Last year in the first round they took Skeens, right?
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, Skeens, yeah, but the year before that they took a high school kid.
Wow,
that one infielder, that outfielder, that infielder they took.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, they took him. He was from high school, and then Skeens they took, and then and now this year again they went back to high school. So
Wow.
Yeah, they went back to school like Rodney Dangerfield.
That's like one of my favorite movies right there. Right?
Hey, you know what, Smokin' Jim? If the roast beef's right, they'll be back. All right. They play, like I said, they got 6 more games to go. The Pirates disappointed me. I was hoping they would have made 500 this year. That was my prediction. And I'm wrong. I was wrong, and I'm not wrong too often, but this time I was wrong on that one. I thought they were going to be 500, and they were not. They're not going to be 500 this year. I think, Smokin' Jim, that somebody needs to be fired here. I think they need to set a precedent that this is unacceptable, and the fans will accept it because they love PNC Park. So the fans will accept it. But anyway, I think it's unacceptable. Derek Shelton, Ben Cherington, somebody got to go. What do you think?
It would be nice if they could switch ownership. I think the ownership is happy with the price that he's paying his manager. He's not looking to win. He's just looking to pocket that money. He's making a heck of a profit every year, and that's all he cares about. And he knows that the fans will come out. And now that he got Paul Skeens for a few years, that's going to help his bottom line. And I think it's a shame because I do agree with you, Ralph.
All right, hour number 2 is coming up of Sports Corner. So when we come back after this, we will have hour number 2. We have some Penguin news. Duquesne, Robert Morris, Slippery Rock all played football. West Virginia, Penn State. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. All coming up right after this.
Welcome to Sports Corner with Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier. And now here's your host, Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier.
All right, we're back here. Sports Corner, hour number 2. Ralph Williams, Smokin' Jim Frazier. We're going to talk, as I mentioned, about Duquesne, Robert Morris, Slippery Rock, all won this week. Those teams have won this week as well. West Virginia, Penn State. It's been actually a really good weekend for football this past weekend, and we'll see what goes on the rest of the weekends here for some of our local teams as well. And we'll also dive into some college scores as well. Florida State finally won their game, but it was a dogfight. That's interesting there. All right, Smokin' Jim, let's get started. Penguins preseason play tonight. They play Buffalo at PPG Paints Arena. Your thoughts on the start of the Penguin season?
Well, I tell you what, man, they better get off to a fast start. I tell you what, God bless Sidney Crosby for taking a hometown discount, even though I believe that he's going to, when he retires, he'll get part of the hockey team. He'll get a percentage there. I think in the long run, he'll make that money back. But, hey, I tell you what, man, with their age, they got to get off to a fast start.
Yes.
And try to hold on and maybe make the playoffs. I think there's still a long shot to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, they have some new coaches. I know Reardon was fired, and they brought in some a couple guys who perhaps can coach a little bit better with the power play and everything else as far as the team goes. I'm interested to see what Mike Sullivan does this year. Kyle Dubas did what he could with what he had to work with, again, with the salary cap. But I think he did a better job. Went on, got some young guys, got rid of some guys who were bums or got hurt all the time or whatever. And, I like Kyle Dubas. I said he was going to be the GM, and I was right on that front. All right, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, our studio sponsor. Call them today. You ought to call Mata 724-201-0500. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. All right, this segment here is brought to you by Alex's Flowers. Call Alex today, 412-661-6071. Alex's Flowers, 30 years in the flower business. Alex is also a Pitt alum. So if you work at Pitt, or if you're watching here and you have any connection, he's a alum for Pitt. Went to Pitt, supports them. So 30-year veteran of the flower business. So call him 412-661-6071. Funeral, wedding, and just for your sweetheart, I'm sure Smokin' Jim, you can call him and get some of your sweethearts some flowers. So, you know, oh, I forgot Smokin' Jim, you're broke.
You can say that again.
You're broke, man. The sports book down at Rivers, they miss you. They miss you, man. They want you to come back and give you free hamburgers or something down there, you know. I remember the days in Vegas, man, when you could go there and get a free hat and a pen and whatever else. Nowadays, man, it's like you got to like chomp teeth down to get something from somebody, you know, down in Vegas anymore, even, you know. So the home of WrestleMania for next year. We'll talk about that later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Down at Legion Stadium. So there you go. All right, Duquesne won. They beat West Virginia Westland 35 to goose egg, nothing. Up at Rooney Field. Robert Morris, they're on a roll. Beat Wagner 21-14. Looks like they're going to have a better season, Smokin' Jim. They play Eastern Kentucky this week. And then Duquesne plays, they're off. They have a bye week. And then October 5th, they play Long Island. So at
Did
Long
you say
Island.
Robert Morris? You said Robert Morris won?
Yeah, they beat Wagner 21-14. They're on a roll, man.
Oh, good.
Since that Edinburgh loss, you know, that was a heartbreaker there, you know. So, but yeah, they 21-14, and they play Eastern Kentucky, a very tough team. They're going to be playing them this week. So Slippery Rock, they beat Shippensburg this week 23-7, and they play. Guess who they play? Edinburgh. Our friends at Edinburgh there.
Wow, that's going to be a good game.
2 coaches we interviewed here.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hey, we're the sports show for the small guy. So there you go.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
if the big guys don't want us, the small guys will take us. So there you go. You know. All right. West Virginia 2-2. They beat Kansas. Kansas stinks, and they only beat them by 4 points. Neil Brown's on the hot seat again because of this game. You know what? West Virginia fans, they complain just like Steeler fans. A win is a win. Who cares how you do it? It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But I know Kansas stinks, but you know, they have a bye week, which they probably need.
Well, I watched that game. That's a heck of a comeback, man. Kansas had them pretty much the whole way, and West Virginia really they grew up in the fourth quarter, man. They came back. Remember that one game a few weeks ago where Pitt was down and scored like a bunch of points to win? It was something like that. So I was proud of West Virginia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you know something here? When you lose a game like they lost to Pitt like that, and when Robert Morris lost to Edinburgh, both teams got mad and went out and start winning. And that's what you got to do. I mean, you got to put that loss aside and come out and start winning. And that's exactly what happened. Duquesne lost their first 2 games. So, you know, now they're starting to win. So, you know, like you said, you got to grow up fast in college football. October 5, they play Oklahoma and Penn State. They won. They beat Kent State 50, I think it was 52 or 59-0 or something to that effect. Yeah, 56-0. And they play Illinois, a tough Illinois team that's undefeated. Kai Willingham is their coach. He's got that team up and moving after Lovie Smith ran it into the ground, looking like Santa Claus on the sidelines. So, you know. But anyway, I reserve my thoughts on that one. So, you know, but anyway, I take the 5th. You know how they always say you take the 5th? You know, so. All right. Smokin' Jim College scores Texas 51, Louisiana Monroe, formerly coached by Terry Bowden, 3. Tennessee 25, Oklahoma 15. Tennessee was blowing teams out, but they didn't blow out Oklahoma. Oklahoma always has a good defense, and they have a good running game. That's their style. That's always been their style. Michigan squeezes it out against USC 27-24. Illinois beat Nebraska 31-24. Ohio State 49, Marshall 14. LSU 34. Let's see here. Who'd they play? They played somebody at 17. Whoever they played, they beat them 34-17. UCLA. That's who they play. Useless LA, I call them now. So, you know, they're not that great. Notre Dame 28, Miami of Ohio 3. That should have been a big-time blowout. Notre Dame didn't do that well. Boston College on a roll with Bill O'Brien. 23, Michigan State 19. Miami 50. Sent a message to South Florida after the close game against Alabama, 50-15. and Florida State finally won a game. They beat Cal U 14-9. I'm interested to see what happens when Cal U comes into Acrisure Stadium to play Pitt because they lost Clemson in the ACC. Clemson 59, and my NC State blew it 59-35 at NC State. Louisville 31, Georgia Tech 19. Your thoughts on all these games, Smokin' Jim?
I tell you what, man, college football is really wide open this year. I think you got some really good teams. You got some teams that traditionally are not that good that's having banner years, like University of Pittsburgh and a few other teams like that. So I'm very excited about what's happening in college football.
Yeah, absolutely. I am as well. I'm shocked
Hey,
that Florida.
don't forget this weekend is number 4 Alabama at home against number 2 Georgia. That should be a great game.
Yeah, exactly. Here, I'm going to get up some college games here. That's the game of the week right there. That game. That has to be the game of the week. So, we're going to see what Alabama's made of against Georgia. So, but hold on a second here. Let's see what kind of games we got going on here. All right, here we go. All right. Yep. There we go. All right. Let's see what we got this week. Okay, we got let's take a look at this here real quick.
Hey Ralph, before you go,
Yeah.
About next week. Last week, how about in overtime? Deion Sanders in Colorado pulls one out in overtime. They came from way down against Baylor at home at Colorado's homecoming, and they showed the Hail Mary from Cordell Stewart that he threw when he played for Colorado.
Yes.
And the very next play, Deion's son throws a Hail Mary for a touchdown to send the game in overtime. So
wow.
with no time left on the clock.
They've won a couple games since they lost. See, again, you lose a few games and you get upset and you go out and start winning. Virginia Tech versus Miami this Friday. That ought to be an interesting game. But although Virginia Tech is still a little down in the doldrums there, they're still building back up from where they were. You got BYU versus Baylor on Saturday at noon. Oklahoma State versus Kansas State. Minnesota versus Michigan. I'm interested to see how that game pans out. Kentucky versus Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin. We have Arkansas versus Texas A&M. We got some really good games here, Smokin' Jim. Louisville versus Notre Dame. I'm interested. You know what? I might take Louisville in this game. Louisville's been hot. The last couple of years have been winning some games. Notre Dame, they've laid an egg a few times on some of these games. What do you think about this game?
Well, I'm old school, so it's hard for me to bet against the Fighting Irish, but you might be right, man. Louisville puts up some points. Notre Dame's an up and down, but they did beat Purdue 66 to nothing.
I know. And I didn't expect that at all. Yeah. In fact, I took Purdue in that game. I didn't know Purdue was that bad. So I'm glad I really don't gamble, because if I did, I'd probably I'm one of the worst handicappers in the world. You know what I mean? But anyway, Wisconsin versus USC, that's going to be a really good game, although Wisconsin's coached by Luke Fickell, who was the former Ohio State coach and also coached and brought up Cincinnati back up to prominence. He's with Wisconsin right now. We'll see where that game goes. That's going to be an interesting game. Oklahoma versus Auburn. Auburn's been off the map. They're coached by Hugh Freeze, who used to coach Liberty. He's not doing too good down there. They want him out. We'll see what happens with Auburn as we go along. Oklahoma versus Auburn. Mississippi State versus number 1 Texas. I think that's probably going to be a blowout, but we'll see. Stanford versus Clemson. Iowa State versus Houston. Ohio State versus Michigan State. That ought to be an interesting game there. That'll be Michigan State's defense versus Chip Kelly's offense at Ohio State. And Georgia, as we talked about, versus Alabama. South Alabama versus LSU. I'm taking South Alabama. I can't stand Brian Kelly down there, but I'm just joking, But anyway, Penn State versus Illinois. that's going to be a dogfight, I think. I think Illinois right now has a good football team, but they're playing at Penn State, and we'll see where that goes. Hey, Penn State screeched it out against Bowling Green. So, we'll find out where Penn State goes with that. Your thoughts on these games?
I tell you what, man, there's some good ones. I tell you what, I think Michigan State's a little down this year, believe it or not.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know why. I mean, I guess the coach can't do it every year. Michigan is down a little bit this year, but I want to see what Ohio State is made of. They've been up and down all season. This may be a year for Penn State to take the Big Ten.
We'll see. It's that Bowling Green game was scary, man. I watched it. It was scary. And I said, oh no. And my wife likes Penn State. She went to Penn State. So, I never went to college. I went to broadcasting school, but I didn't go to college. So, but I've always been a Pitt fan. I used to hike Cardiac Hill when I was a kid. Saw Dan Marino play, Alex Van Pelt. I watched the sadness of Jackie Sherrill leaving. So Steve Spates and I had a discussion on Sunday for the post-game show. Don't forget to join Smokin' Jim and I and Steve Spates on Sunday for the post-game show right after 30 minutes after the Steeler game this week, because they're away. They're going to be playing in the friendly confines of Indianapolis at the dome there. I forget what they call it now, but anyway, there we go. There's a post-game show with me. Hang on, Ralph Williams, Steve Spates, and also with Smokin' Jim Frazier will be joining us as well. It's a 1:00 game, and we'll be on right afterwards. Steve and I talked a little bit about the early days of Pitt, some of the losses, bad losses. I remember the one with Bowling Green that we lost, the Youngstown State loss with Paul Christ. I was working at Heinz Field when that happened, and it was pouring down, sloppy rain, sloppy field. You had flat-footed Tito Sinceri at quarterback, and so I always call it. Well, he had big flat feet and couldn't move, So but the only reason he was there was because his last name is Sinceri, But anyway, we talked about some of the coaches, back in the day from after Jackie Sherrill left. Pitt hasn't been seriously prominent since then. I think you'll agree with me on that. The first Johnny Majors go around when they won the national championship. Those were the days for Pitt with Dan Marino and whatnot. But there were some big upsets over the years. The Penn State 48-14 debacle. I was at that game. I was at the Notre Dame game when Notre Dame beat up on Pitt with Dan Marino. I think Frazier was the coach then. And, when Dan Marino ended his career, Frazier was the coach. And then Foge got out. Mike Godfrey came in, and you know where that went. And then Paul Hackett, we heard the stories about him. We went through all the coaches throughout the years. Walt Harris, what happened with him? One thing you never do, Smokin' Jim, is you never have an affair with somebody and your wife watches it on TV. You know what happened to him?
No.
Oh man. Oh, I got to give him. Hold on a minute. I'll tell you what I got to give him. Walt Harris. Here, I'll tell you what I got to give him. Let me see if I can find it here. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe I can. I think I have it here. Hold on. I'll tell you what I need to give him. No, I don't have it here. I thought I did. Oh, maybe I don't. No, I do not have it here. Wow, that's a shame. I have a thing with Sanford and Son that goes, "You big dummy." It's a picture of Fred on there. So anyway, I'll tell you what he did that got him fired. He was having an affair with the woman in the athletic department. And what had happened was he was on TV at a coaches convention, and they showed him on there, and he was holding hands with this woman, and his wife saw him on TV.
Wow.
And Jeff Long was the athletic director at the time, and he said, "You're done." And that's what happened. That's why he got rid of Walt Harris.
Wow.
And then I wish Dave Wannstedt was still the head coach. I love Dave Wannstedt. I thought he was, great for Pitt. He was a salesman. I know his coaching abilities at times were questioned, but he was a salesman for Pitt. He had a lot of athletes went to the NFL when he in his 6-year tenure, and a lot of guys who went to the Super Bowl, Shady McCoy and a few other guys, during his tenure.
Darrell Revis.
Yeah. So I mean, and then sons of former players that he coached went to Pitt. So I mean, it was a great time, and I think he would have still been here. He would have been like a Joe Paterno. He loved Pitt. He wanted to coach here. He took the job for a little less money than what he probably could have got anywhere else. And he made some dumb decisions, like bringing in Matt Cavanaugh, because I don't know if you noticed or not, but Shady McCoy walked into Dave Wannstedt's office and said, either it's me or Matt Cavanaugh.
Wow.
Because he was mad because they lost that one bowl game. What was it, 7-6 or something? And he didn't like the way Matt Cavanaugh's play calling was going. And he said, this offense is boring. I don't like it. He says, either I go or Matt goes or Coach Cavanaugh goes. So who do you think went? Shady McCoy. So, one thing, the mistake that Dave Wannstedt made was friendship is friendship, business is business, family is family.
Wow.
That's I learned that mistake a long time ago in business. You just those things you have to separate from the business itself. And the business right there was football. And despite the fact they were best friends, in fact, Dave Wannstedt invited me for lunch one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I took there was two Pitt athletes who missed a shuttle, and I picked them up in Oakland and I took them over to Southside, and I got them over there on time. And Dave Wannstedt come out, he was paying for it, and he come out and he goes, "How you doing? I'm Coach Wannstedt." I said, "Yeah, I know who you are, Coach. It's good to meet you." I says, "I'm glad you took the Pitt job." He says, "Yeah, we're getting there." I think this was like his second year, because the first year was tough with Tyler Palko. And then I think the second year, I believe when he was there, and I pulled up there, he paid for the trip, gave me a nice tip. He said, "You want to come in for lunch? Sit down. Myself and Coach Cavanaugh are having lunch. You want to come on in? It's on me." I said, "Oh no." I said, I got another trip I got to go get." At the time, I had to go get an airport trip that was waiting for me to drop off not far from Southside. So I couldn't go in for lunch, but he invited me in for lunch. He was a really nice guy. So,
wow.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, I had him in the cabin. And the one time I think I told you I had those Ohio State fans in the cab. They were playing Pitt at Pitt Stadium. And the one guy was, he said he was an alum with Ohio State. And he goes, you want to know what's wrong with John Cooper? I said, "No, what's wrong with John Cooper? He can't beat Michigan." I said, "Oh my gosh." So I ended up picking them back up because they went to
Who said that?
the guy I had that was from the alum of Ohio State. He said, "I'm so angry with him, with John Cooper, because he can't beat Michigan." So
that was a good one.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, but that's my one Pitt story with Dave Wannstedt. So yeah. So yeah, we talked about coaches. Fraud Graham. We're going to go up the left lane. We're going to take the speedy offense, and we're going to go with a flat-footed quarterback like Tito Sinceri. You know what I mean? You're going to try to run a go offense. That's like trying to shove a square peg into a round hole. And then he left for Arizona State and had egg on his face. And so was coaching in Hawaii there for a little while. And the Hawaiians, they got mad, they didn't like him, so they kicked him out. So but anyway, Smokin' Jim, let's get started with our wrestling segment coming up here shortly. We have some things we have to pay a few bills here. So let's get to that while we're at it here. We're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studios. You ought to call Mata Heating and Air Conditioning, 724-201-0500. They are our studio sponsor, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. You need your car fixed. You want to fix it at the right price where they won't take it to the cleaners. Call Big Dog Auto in West Mifflin, 412-999-0191. State inspection, brakes, oil change, anything you need, any kind of repairs. Call the Big Dog and let him howl. Ow! 412-999-0191. Big Dog Auto, West Mifflin, right by the county airport. Bold and Travel Mobility. Look, Do you need a folding power wheelchair, but you can't afford a van from Keystone Coach Works? And I understand that a lot of folks that are handicapped are on fixed incomes. But look, fold and travel mobility is the next best thing. If you need a folding power wheelchair to put in your vehicle, call them today. They have very good prices, financing available. They will set you up with the right model of folding power chair. Hey, look, don't let your life be bad. Call them today. Get glad. And that's Fold and Travel Mobility, 1-877-GOT-FOLD, 1-877-GOT-FOLD, or foldandtravelmobility.com. All right, Smokin' Jim, let's deal with some more stuff here for wrestling. Wrestle Rex, Friday, October 18th at the City Winery. Sam Adonis, who is part of our friendship with Daniel Polinsky, who's been on this program, Corey Graves, and Daniel. Sam is also Daniel Polinsky is also his father and the brother of Corey Graves. Sam Adonis versus Magno, City Winery, Pittsburgh. That's Friday, October 18th, and that's also brought to you by 880 Wrestling, which will real soon here. I'm working on getting them as a sponsor for our program as well. All right, the next one is Believe in the Glory. Believe in the Glory, and get this, Smokin' Jim. Joe Hendry from TNA Wrestling and NXT versus Joey Janela. Joey Janela's been a wrestler all across. He was in AEW, ROH, MLW he's with right now. But there's going to be a event, first time ever, Sunday, September 29th at the New York City Arena in Jamaica, New York. Don't forget, if you live in the New York area, don't forget to go for that one as well. Summer is over. Let's fight. New Kensington, brought to you by 880 Wrestling, September 27th, 8 p.m. Lots of wrestling action, Smokin' Jim. 880 Fifth Avenue in New Kensington. Some great bouts going on here. We have Jamie Jamison versus MV Young. And we got a lot of good matches. Or MV Young versus Jamie Jamison, and a tag team championship match in this one that I think you're going to like. Check it out. New Kensington, 880 Wrestling for that event. That's on September 29th. Live Pro Wrestling, Allied Powers Wrestling with our friend Bubba Brewer, October 26th down in Johnstown, 7 p.m. at the Castle in Johnstown. It's Nightmare at the Castle. Oh, some great matches there. Big Bill Collier will be in action and a whole lot more right there. Get it at Allied Powers Wrestling Federation.com. Look at that. Look at that, Smokin' Jim. When you see the show tonight, our banners right there, because we're a sponsor of Allied Powers Wrestling Federation as well. All right, next is this one here is Extreme Execution by Extreme Hardcore Wrestling, Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. Our buddy Matt Silks is in action there, Smokin' Jim. Saturday, September 28th, Jim Thorpe, PA. Doors open 6 p.m., bell time 7. All tickets $20. Check it out. Get on their website. Sons of Mifflin County will be in action, and the Bad Street Boys will be in action as well. And please don't forget another one of our good sponsors, Bond Journey, Kindrew's Lounge, October 12th. Kevin Palonzi will be opening up for them. They will be at Kindrew's Lounge on Broadhead Road in Aliquippa as well. And also on October 12th, I'll get the information coming soon. Enjoy Wrestling will be down on the south side. Smokin' Jim and I are possibly going to be there for that event on October 12th. A lot of wrestling events going on. Smokin' Jim, your thoughts on these?
I tell you what, man, you've been doing a great job of networking with some of these great organizations that I tell you what, man, it's just so much fun. I went to my first independent thanks to you, and I'm hooked on it. And I think that people should come out because it's fan friendly. You can bring kids as well as the elderly, and they will enjoy it, and you can't beat the price.
Yeah, I recently went to an Enjoy Wrestling event about a month ago, or right over here, up here in Allentown section of the city where I live here. And it was a fun match. I took my mom, and my mom, she got away from wrestling. She got tired of it, watching WWE and all that stuff. She got out of it. But she liked this, and she said she'd love to go to another event. She loved it. Right? We were right up in front, man. She said she couldn't believe the interaction with the wrestlers and all that. It was fun. All right. But the big news that was announced last night, Smokin' Jim, WrestleMania is in Las Vegas next year. Tickets go on sale October 25th. It will be at Allegiant Stadium at, as usual, the 2-night event. Your thoughts on WrestleMania in Las Vegas?
Do you want a tray and a platter?
Okay, thank you.
Smokin' Jim, you there?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, all right. Were they giving you something to eat there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, Smokin' Jim, your thoughts on WrestleMania for next year in Las Vegas?
They're, maiden boys. It's pretty cool.
Hey, sorry about that. Russ. Thank you. Yeah,
What are you getting, a bingo hot dog?
Hey, getting a bucket of chicken, but
Oh no, I thought you were getting a hot dog, a bingo hot dog at that bingo you go to there.
Hey, I tell you what, man, Las Vegas, you can't beat it, man. WrestleMania is just doing things bigger and bigger, man, and it's just growing. I like the new station that they're on. I think that's going to be a plus in the long run. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I like it as well. And Saturday night's main event comes back December 14th on NBC, Smokin' Jim's, on NBC. So don't forget December 14th. Saturday night's main event is back on NBC.
Are you serious?
I kid you not. Saturday night's main event comes back. I remember those days, man. Smokin' Jim. I watched all those Saturday night main events back in the 80s, man. It was great.
Man, that's huge.
Yeah,
that's
well, they were
huge.
doing it a little bit on the WWE network and, that kind of thing. But now it's serious. They're bringing it back. It's going to be on NBC. So, Smokin' Jim, they have, WWE has a very good relationship with NBC Universal through USA Network. And it's great to see them doing that. It's back Saturday night. It's main event. So it's going to be an interesting thing for that as well. Your thoughts on Bad Blood coming up on October 5th? We have some great matches. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in Hell in a Cell. We have the Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes versus Soa Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. They had their little meeting in the middle of Georgia Tech Stadium on Friday during SmackDown. They replayed it last night on Raw. Your thoughts on this discussion?
I tell you what, man, I didn't realize Roman Reigns was such a great football player for Georgia Tech. Yeah, he was pretty tremendous ball player down there, man. But I tell you what, man, it's just I tell you what, man, Ralph, somebody's going to end up getting hurt.
Well, I think
all said and done.
This is what I think, and I think this is all a farce. I think Roman Reigns is doing this to get back at Cody Rhodes. And I think what's going to happen is he's going to go back to the bloodline, Roman Reigns, and he's going to be back on top, back in the bloodline. He's going to go after Cody for his title. That's what I think.
Wow.
I think this is a farce. I really believe that to be the case.
Wow. Wow.
I could be wrong because I know the Civil War is coming up, and there's been questions of I've been told there was going to be 3 teams for Survivor Series. Now, Rock's going to have a team, and I heard Haku's coming back. He's going to have Rikishi on his team. I mean, I've been seeing all these predictions of what kind of teams are going to be together. I heard Roman Reigns is going to have Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, the Usos are going to be his team. So, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but there will be a civil war between the bloodline, I'm told, at Survivor Series. Now, if that's not going to happen, and they're still having the regular Survivor Series type matches, if that doesn't happen as part of the War Games, I think this Bad Blood right here, Roman Reigns screws over Cody Rhodes. That's what I believe. I mean, I think he goes back to the bloodline. I think it was all big farce to get back the title, but we'll see. I don't know. I've been wrong before. I could be wrong here, but and then again, it might not be. You might see Jimmy Uso come back and get involved in the match. You might see, Paul Heyman come back and help out. That kind of thing. I mean, anything can happen in these pay-per-views, and that. So. But when the match I'm interested in is Drew McIntyre, CM Punk. I'm really interested in this match. I think it's going to be a really interesting match. And then we're going to find out if Gunther and Sami Zayn are ever going to fight. A lot of people are saying they don't think Sami Zayn deserves that fight, but we'll find out what happens with that, and if Sami Zayn can get the title, the world title. He's never had a world title, so we'll see what he can do there. And then also you got Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. You got Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. You got all kinds of reasonably good matches here. Triple H is good at putting these cards together for all these pay-per-views. Your thoughts so far on the Bad Blood card?
I tell you, it's loaded. It's loaded, and people get more than getting their money's worth, man. I tell you what, man, I'm excited about it. I think that McIntyre, somebody's going to get their...
Somebody's going to go to the hospital.
I think somebody's going to get their career ended, man.
Hey, remember Mark Henry's old song? What was it? Somebody going to get their ass kicked.
Yeah. Somebody said he was coming back.
He is. Yes, he is.
Okay.
His contract ran out with AEW. I heard his son is wrestling. I'm not sure of his son's name, but I do know he's as big as his father, and he is coming back. So, So there you go. Oh, I'll tell you who I saw. I was watching Ben Roethlisberger's podcast last night. Guess who was on it?
Who?
Marquise Pouncey.
Wow, I heard he lost a lot of weight.
He did. His mass is gone. He lost a ton of weight. He don't look nowhere near like himself like he used to. I mean, all these football players do that. Look at Jeff Hardings. He's walking with a cane. He looks, he lost all that mass. What's his face? Chris Hoke. I seen him. He lost all that mass. Alan Faneca. I mean, they all did. You know what I mean? They all lose it.
Not Refrigerator Perry.
No, and not James Harrison. James Harrison still looks chiseled.
My goodness.
Like he's ready to still play.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to wrestling here. I like next week's match between Braun Strowman and Big Bronson Reed, the last monster standing. I think that's going to be a chaotic match. Your thoughts on that match?
I'm not looking forward to it. These guys is destroying each other, man. Holy smokes, man!
I actually thought Pierce was going to put him in a Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. That's what I thought. That would be the perfect match for them too. Hell in a Cell. Oh yeah. Yeah, you would definitely sell tickets for that. That would be sold out in a minute for that match, too. That's a good match. I'm hearing stories now that Otis and his buddy from that he first started with, Luther, I think his name is, or something. I can't remember. He's getting back. They're getting back together. That's what I hear. So he's going to be part of that crowd that he's with there with your girlfriend there, Maxine Dupree, and Chizawa and all that. I think he's his old buddy from the days when they were in the Heavy Machinery. He's coming back. So just wanted to let you know on that one. Also, there's some other rumors out there of some guy. By the way, at Bad Blood, I hear that Penix and Ray Phoenix are coming to WWE. They've already signed a contract. Rumor has it they're going to be involved in some kind of a match involving the LWO versus the Judgment Day somewhere in Bad Blood here. I think, JD McDonough maybe and Dom are going to be involved in a match against his father. And I think Penix and them are going to get involved and help out Rey Mysterio and the LWO. So what you think about next week's match with the LWO or with Rey Mysterio versus
New Day?
Yeah, New Day. What do you think of that?
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with New Day anymore, man. They're coming up on their 10-year reunion.
Yeah,
but it seems like they're not
on the same page.
To get it together. Yeah,
they're not on the same page. I think they have different, expectations of themselves. I know Xavier Woods, which he's still playing football and doing wrestling. Xavier Woods. So you don't know that, do you? He got drafted in the first round a couple years ago. Xavier Woods. He's playing football and doing wrestling. Yeah. So
Wow.
No. There was Corey Graves always makes fun of that. There was a kid named Xavier Woods who got drafted in the first round by somebody a few years back in the draft. I can't remember what team drafted him. But yeah, Xavier Woods. But it's not the wrestler. I mean, you know. But Corey Graves always says, "Oh, he plays for the NFL now. What's he doing here?" You know what I mean? You know, so he makes a joke out of it. So, but anyway, I'm hearing stories. Wade Barrett's coming back. You know, you got some legends possibly coming back as well. Those rumors are circulating. Your thoughts on AEW? John Moxley got a new faction going with Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, who doesn't want any parts of beating up Bryan Danielson. Danielson is fighting Nigel McGuinness. Nigel McGuinness is coming out of retirement. Your thoughts on that match?
Well, I seen the other night ago where Moxley beat up some brothers that tried to jump him.
Yeah, I
that
saw
Moxley is tough. I didn't know that was his wife that interviews people.
Yeah, that is his wife, Renee Paquette. Yeah, that's his wife. Yeah. They even have a child, I believe. I believe they have a child. Yeah, they have a daughter.
Wow.
Yeah, so she was pregnant when she was in the WWE, and then when they went to AEW, you know. So yeah, Renee Paquette's his wife. Yeah. People always make fun of that. They always go, "Oh, your husband's this, your husband's that," you know. So you know. So what do you think of Chris Jericho and the Learning Tree?
Well, I tell you what, man, Jericho was mad. He was hot. The Last Outlaw.
Yeah, he lost that match to Hook, man. He's pissed, you know. So, you know who Hook is, don't you?
No.
That's Taz's son.
Oh, is that right?
That's Taz's son. Yes, it is. Yeah, Hook is Taz's son.
But you know who I'm thinking about? Oh yeah, I did see Jericho. He had he balled up his fist with those quarters, but it backfired on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking about was the guy that beat up the guy that won the championship and was getting ready to go after the announcer, and the old legend came out of the back at the end.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I didn't catch AEW this last week or so, so I wasn't real sure. But I'll look. I'll find it. I'll find the video for it. But Tony Schiavone, he don't play around. He's got friends. So I mean, you know, and so you know, don't mess with him. Don't mess with Tony Schiavone. Don't mess with what's Excalibur? He was a wrestler.
Who's the black? Who's the black guy that had the title? That Swerve.
Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland.
The guy that beat Swerve was getting ready to beat up the announcer.
Well, Danielson beat him for the title. Are you talking about Page?
Mad Dog.
Oh no, you mean you're talking about Adam Page? Yeah. He's been running all over the place. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, the Cowboy Adam Page. Yeah, he's been running all over the place. So
well, somebody came out from the back, or old legend came out from the back to stand up for the announcer.
Yeah.
And Page started whooping on him.
Jeez. Oh man, yeah, Cowboy. Yeah, he's not real happy these days. He's upset because he got screwed over. The Young Bucks stuck it to him a little bit, and you know, gave him a match he wanted, and then they wanted him to team up with them, and he wouldn't, and then he reluctantly did it, and then they ended up screwing him over. So, you know, those things go on. Darby Allin versus John Moxley. That's going to be an interesting match there. We'll see what Darby Allin does in that match as well. But getting back to the WWE, this Monday Night Raw this past week was great. It was great to see Jey Uso become a singles title holder. Your thoughts on that match?
No, that broke my heart. You know, I like the dog.
Yeah. Braun Breaker. Yep.
Yeah, but it was time for Uso. He's so popular right now.
Oh yeah.
So it was time. It was a heck of a match, and
the matches this Monday were actually pretty decent. I didn't have to switch the channel around, you know. So, but what do you think of Damage Control going up against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill for the titles? They won that match last night, the number 1 contenders match. What do you think about that?
Like again, I can't see anybody beating Cordell.
Cargill
Jade
and Bianca Belair.
Cargill.
Yeah.
I can't see anybody beating them two.
Yeah, well, I'm glad Damage Control beat them two girls at Alba Fire or whatever their name is there that held the titles, because I'm getting tired of them anyway. You know what I mean?
The one was really sexy, but
Oh, I know. Yeah, well, your girlfriend's been at it, Piper Niven. She's been running all over the place with Chelsea Green, beating up on people. So, But anyway, how'd you like Tiffy time on Friday night, huh?
I love me some Tiffy time, bro.
Oh, you know it, man. You know it. So, don't forget, and I'm going to keep on pounding it into everybody because we want as many people as possible to be tuning in, and we're back. And I told you we were coming back. The return of Sports Corner Radio Show. Ralph Williams, Smokin' Jim Frazier, and our good friend Claudio Rosano. And our first special guest for this first show is Luther Dupree from Steel City Sports World. And I'll tell you what, we're going to be having some guests in the studio with us at times. This week, Smokin' Jim, for the first show, we're going to be talking about mediocrity in sports. That's going to be our main topic for that day. We want your thoughts on that. You can always respond by the mailbag. Ralph Williams 737 at gmail.com. Is sports mediocre? Yes, it is. I believe that most of the sports nowadays is mostly mediocre. It's all about money. Nobody cares about anything else. And that's where sports has gone all across the board. Do you agree on that, Smokin' Jim? Smokin' Jim.
I guess you'll find out next week.
Yeah, or in a couple of weeks. By the way, next Tuesday is our Pirate closing show. I'm working on getting John Parado and Noah Howes here. They're gonna tell us about what happened with the Pirates. I'm also gonna work on getting former Pirate catcher Michael McHenry on as well. Find out what happened with the Pirates. Why did they blow it this year? What do you think they need to do? We want your comments next week. Call your friend, call your cousin, call everybody. Call Chip Hayner, because Chip Hayner's a Pirate fan, and so call Chip Hayner as well. And Smokin' Jim tonight at 7:00. Bethel Park TV, also on Facebook and YouTube. Pittsburgh Sports Line. Smokin' Jim Frazier is part of that panel with Al Levine, the talking machine, who calls Dan Moore Open Door Moore. And Nick, they call him Harry Callis too, but Nick Harry Callis more or less. And Chip Hayner joins them tonight, and four of them talk sports on Bethel Park TV. If you live in Bethel Park, channel 21 on your Comcast system. And then also don't forget on YouTube and Facebook, Pittsburgh Sports Line tonight at 7:00 with my man Smokin' Jim Frazier. And what's on your mind, Smokin' Jim Frazier? No, go ahead. What's on your mind? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I tell you what, man. I'm always looking for an opportunity to talk about the Steelers, man. I tell you what, I know the people were glad I took the curse off them coming into the season. They're 3-0 now, and they just got to find a way to beat Indianapolis, man, and go 4-0. They got to find a way. That's what I've been saying every week. They got to find a way to win. And,
yeah, well, you know what? Your prediction might be true, and if it is true, then I'm going to do all my shows naked. If they go to the Super Bowl, hey, that's I always live to my promises. I mean, when I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm wrong. When I'm right, I'll know I'm right. And if I'm wrong for this, I told everybody and I said it. I will do all my shows naked. So because I don't think with Mike Tomlin and the remaining 3 years he has on this new contract here that he just signed, I think this is it for him as well. But I don't think he'll ever win a Super Bowl. That's my opinion, or go to one, as a matter of fact. But that's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. Smokin' Jim and I are allowed to disagree, and so Smokin' Jim thinks they're going to Super Bowl this year. So, but I think next week they're going to win. Smokin' Jim. I think it's going to be Steelers 53 and the Indianapolis Colts 3. I like what you said on pre-snap. That's funny when you always do that with high scores on pre-snap. Hey, I watched that. Did you see that little thing with Claudio and Luther? Man, Claudio was like about Mike Tomlin, and Luther went off. Oh man. Oh,
Luther don't like when people talk about Tomlin.
Hey, you know what though? Audio speaks the truth.
The truth hurts.
That's
the
right.
Truth hurts.
And we speak the truth here on this program. I don't leave nothing
That's
out.
right.
You know that.
That's right.
You and I
That's
both.
right.
We don't leave nothing out. We tell it like it is. You
That's
know.
it.
You know, the bums are the bums, and the players are the players. And
Mhm.
you know, so I had a friend of mine. He always used to say Bill Cowher's bums. Now I say Mike Tomlin's bums because there's a few of his bums too that play in this team. So but anyway, I'm not going to go there. James Pierre's a bum. So good special teams player, horrible safety or corner, whatever he plays. Oh, I watched him get burned so many times. I don't even know what to say. So hey, how about Beanie Bishop? He's still playing, and how about your buddy there, Joey Porter Jr. Didn't get a penalty this week. So.
Can you believe it? But he did give up a touchdown.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he got smoked, and so did Minka. He got smoked on that one play. He got smoked.
No, that was Joey.
Oh, that was Joey. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Joey jumped on Joey left this man because he thought they was going to throw in the flat. So Minka was trying to get over there after he got caught. Yeah, that was Joey.
Yeah, well, that was his man, and Minka was trying to chase him down. Okay, I see what happened. Because I thought Minka got burned, and I said, Minka don't get burned like that, And then I said, oh, no, Minka got burned, and here, you're right, it was Joey Porter Jr. Yeah, he got smoked on that play. So, But anyway, the only reason he's there is because he's Joey Porter's son.
Yes, sir.
That's the only reason he's there. But you were right. He holds a lot. He pass interference, number 24. Get used to that. So. But anyway, if you have any other wrestling things you want to talk about, we can talk about next Monday's card. Looks pretty decent. The two New Day guys are going. You got Xavier Woods against Rey Mysterio, and you got Kofi Kingston versus Chad Gable. Your thoughts on those matches?
Ooh, man.
You think New Day should get help? Like, if somebody wants to help them, you think they should help them, or do you think New Day should try to do it themselves?
I always look for an ally, but they got to come together before somebody's going to try to help them. They may turn on the people that try. Woods may turn on somebody that tries to help him. So
well, I hear that could happen. There could be a breakup in that. I heard a rumor about that. Xavier Woods kind of he might turn heel, go on his own. You know what I mean? He didn't seem to be too interested in bringing back the trombone and the cereal and all that other stuff. So,
well, he's getting so jealous. He's getting so jealous now because he has never won an individual title.
Yeah.
And
Kofi has.
Kofi has. So,
Yeah, the only thing that I remember him winning was King of the Ring. And
is that right?
Yeah, he won King of the Ring about 3 years ago. I remember he won King of the Ring. Remember? Yeah. He won King of the Ring, but it wasn't relevant that much. King of the Ring really isn't relevant anymore like it used to be.
Okay, but that's still something, right?
Yeah, it is. You're right. And the Andre the Giant Battle Royal Trophy is something too.
Yeah.
So I mean, how many times Braun Strowman won that?
Yeah.
So I mean, Baron Corbin won that. Corbin and Apollo Crews getting together there. So I'm interested to see where some of these guys are going to go. I want to see how Penix and Ray Phoenix fit in, because they're coming. And I heard possibly, I'm trying to think, what's his face is coming. I can't remember his name from AEW. He was with Taz in that group there. He was champ for a little while. He had Big Bill as his bodyguard. I can't remember his name. But that guy is coming as well. And we got yeah, we were talking so much I didn't see the comments section. RXJ says hello. Hello, RXJ.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Thank you. All right, RXJ. So first comment we had today. So there you go. But anyway, everybody watches to repeat the archive versions and everything else, Smokin' Jim. So all right, we're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studios. Don't forget to call Mata today, 724-2010-500. Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. 5 minutes, Smoking Jim. You have any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
No, it's been a great show, man. You had some great guests, and I'm excited about the River Hounds. I'm excited about Ray FIDEPALDO, where he broke down the Steeler injuries.
Yes.
And I tell you what, man, it could be Nick Herbert's job. I've always thought he was better than Highsmith. Nothing against Highsmith, but Herbert is something special, man.
Yeah, he is. You're right. And I do believe that we probably should, he should play more, and I think he will. And, I like Peyton Wilson. I'd like to see him a little more, too.
I love him.
Oh, so do I. And you were right about him. And I saw him play in college. And, he's a good linebacker. And he just had some injuries that made him fall. But that's fine. Someone else's loss is the Steelers' gain, as I always say.
Sir.
Yes,
so. Sir.
All right. For Smoking Jim Frazier, I'm Ralph Williams. No final thoughts from me. You've heard enough of me and Smoking Jim today. But don't worry. You're going to be hearing us on Saturday starting October 5. We will be on starting Saturday, October 5, 2 to 3 p.m., 12:50 a.m., 92.5 The Answer. The return of Sports Corner radio show, bigger and better than ever on a better signal station. And also, don't forget, you can go online on the Answer, and also you can download the Answer's app, and you can watch it on the app or listen to it on the app and online on www.1250amtheanswer.com. Check it out as well. So all kinds of ways to watch it or to listen to the show and the return of Sports Corner radio show. We're going to talk about mediocrity in sports. Luther Dupree will be our special guest from Steel City Sports World, and all that stuff. Smoking Jim, I want to tell you some sort of bad news a little bit here. Not getting any leverage anywhere with the city in regards to PCTV. So, you asked me a few weeks back. I really didn't have much to report. Nothing doing right now. We're at a stalemate here.
Well, I knew if Luther Dupree was leading the team, it wasn't going to go nowhere.
Hey, I'm doing it too, man. I'm fighting too. I'm making phone calls all across the board. So, I mean, I think I'm going to make one more call to the mayor, and I'm going to see what's going to happen here. I'd like to see PCTV come back. I'd like it to be called ACTV, Allegheny County TV, because it's not just Pittsburgh, it's Allegheny County with Verizon 47. So, and stuff like that. So, I would love to see PCTV come back so we could put our product back on PCTV as well. Steel City Sports World, Platt's Point of View, and some of the other shows on there as well. Some of the producers, Smoking Jim and I, have been down at the city council chambers. They've been down at the chambers. I've been talking on Zoom every week. I've been beating up city council, especially Robert Lavelle, Daniel Lavelle. He is the man who represents the North Side, represents for PCTV. My suggestion to everyone out here that's watching this program today, please make a phone call to our Daniel Lavelle's office, burn his phone up, and tell him you want to see PCTV come back. If you're a former producer at one time that got chased away by the director's fees that were obnoxious, that chased everybody away, and you're one of those folks, we're trying to get the station back on the air. Please call our Daniel Lavelle's number, get a hold of him on city council, and burn his phone up and tell him to do something to help to get PCTV back on the air. So just to let everyone know that as well. Smoking Jim has some programming on there as well. First and 10 with Smoking Jim and a few other programs he's done over the years on there that he still was doing. And Steel City Sports World, the boxing authorities. All the boxing authorities members will be part of the first show as well. Luther Dupree, Claudia Rosano, Smoking
right.
Jim Frazier. Right. So the partial return of the boxing authorities to radio. There you go. So, hey, how is the boxing world other than what we were talking about? I hear Mike Tyson was training and he collapsed or something. I heard he was huffing and puffing or something. I don't know.
Well, he better stay away from Jake Paul. I know that.
Yeah, I wonder who his manager is.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm
Good
not sure
question.
either. So his promoter's not Don King. I know that. So, but anyway, oh, Mike Tyson. Hey, that's gonna. I don't know. I don't know if it's a joke. Who knows? All right. But anyway, Smokin' Jim, thanks for being part of the show as always. And next week we're gonna have our Pirate closing show. We'll talk Steelers, Pitt Panther football in 2 weeks against North Carolina. So don't forget to tune in every Tuesday, 4 to 6 p.m. Sports Corner right here, and right here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch platforms. Ralph Williams for Smokin' Jim Frazier. Have a good one and be safe. Thank you.